Peace. So, this video is going to be termed Death Becomes You. And the reason I'm giving it that term is because I was asked a question about environment. Do I really believe that environment has an effect on people? I believe that environment has an effect on people, and it also has an effect on itself. And it has a very strong effect on people if they are not aware that the environment is used to produce a certain type of effect. Any type of environment is used to produce effects. There are outcomes. When you're dealing with an environment, there's an outcome that comes along with that said environment, which is why you have different forms of environments. And with us as people of color, or quote unquote so-called black folks, throughout the inner cities of America, as well as around the world, we can see environment and how environment is utilized, designed to destroy those who live inside of it. And what I mean is that they design an environment that lacks resources, that lacks certain types of tools that could aid the people who live in that environment and aid them in transitioning into a much more positive, sustainable life and gaining more of a quality of life. But somebody benefits from the opposite. Somebody benefits from the poverty. Somebody benefits from the violence. Somebody benefits from the death. And in the process of those things, what happens is, in order to keep that game playing, you have to transmutate people. You have to cause them to become other than themselves. And environments can do that. You understand? So the reason I call this Death Becomes You is because we have been worldwide as well as inner city wide. We have been influenced by those things that cause death. We have been influenced by that lower frequency. And what happens is once you are influenced and not understanding the subconscious powers of implanting and being influenced, you begin to act out and do things that you wouldn't customarily do in your own conscious thinking. You wouldn't customarily do it because there would be an alternative to doing this type of thing. But see, in our communities, they are designed specifically without alternatives. And what I mean by that is, yeah, the alternative is go to a program. They got a gun violence program, and they got this going on, and they got that going on. That's an alternative. But once you get inside the alternative, you recognize that the alternative is BS. Because there's actually no saving power in the alternative, because the alternative is being given to you or being demonstrated to you through the same people that are creating these environments. It's a double game. You see what I'm saying? And you have to be very, very careful and understand where I'm coming from when I say this. We begin to take on the ideas of other people, and we act out upon those ideas. And we could either have light or we could have darkness. Man makes a choice. It is said that God made everything, you know. And when you talk to people about corruption, and you talk to people about evil and so on and so forth, and you bring up God and you bring up evil, and the first thing they say is, well, God ain't got nothing to do with evil. He only got everything to do with good. I beg to differ. Because I know and understand that when God made man, he made evil. Because man has a free will content. And in the process, he'll make a choice. But when an environment is designed as a specific way, you might not be able to make the proper choice. Because in order to make the proper choice, you have to have certain types of resources and tools in place so you can make the proper choice of employment. In other words, to be employed, there has to be at least a job. But when the employment rate is so high, then you can see why certain things begin to come the way they come, and why stealing and thievery and other things happen in our community. It happens so much because it is a design, and you become your environment if you're not careful. And this is what we want to understand. And this is what I want people to understand, that you can become your environment. And if your environment is engulfed in death, then death becomes you. That's what happens. You become that which your environment is, and you become a part and partial to that environment. In other words, either you're going to aid the growth of that environment, or you're going to be one of those who actually try to alter and transform the environment from an unhealthy environment to a very healthy condition. But a lot of times we live in such an abnormal thought process that we don't recognize that we're living in an abnormal condition, because it has become so regular. We have become so desensitized to certain signs and symbols as people that we miss the mark. So death becomes you in these environments. You understand what I'm saying? Because you allow the environment to transform you, not knowing that the environment is designed specifically to do that. It is designed specifically to make a good person bad. You understand what I'm saying? And to make them bad under duress and coercion, where they're not really making an adequate choice. They're forced to take a position and move a certain way. You see what I'm saying? So that this morning is what it's all about with me right now, is how you can become your environment and how your environment can empower you for positive or negative. But it depends specifically on the individual being able to weigh in the balance the environment. Just because everybody say they love you don't mean that they love you. Because everybody say they hate you don't mean that they hate you. Maybe they hate your behavior. I say it all the time. I hate you. I'll talk to the predators and so on and so forth. I hate y'all, man. And it's not necessarily that I hate them as individuals, or I hate them as human beings. No, I hate the conduct and the behavior that they engage in. I hate the environment that allowed them to learn that conduct. And that's what we want to alter. We want to create another venue, another community ideology that is engulfed by love, by health. You see what I mean? Not by the opposites. So with that being said, do not allow your environment to shape you and to become something that you're not. So death won't become you. Peace.